Peace to the family. There we go. All right. Peace to the family. What's good with you? Greetings, good afternoon. I'm going to let y'all come into the building. Come on in. We are going to have a powerful presentation today. All right. I got my brother Blue Pillar about to pull up on us. We about to Wonder Twins activate on y'all real quick. Drop some information. Later on tonight, we're going to be doing Third Eye Thursdays on YouTube. Make sure you tap into that. Know the Ledge Media on YouTube. You can find the link in the bio. You know what I'm talking about? Know the Ledge Media. Third Eye Thursdays. This one is going to be a doozy. And I'm also going to be doing classes in my private Discord with my Masters of the Universe mastermind group. Special guest tonight is Human. You dig? Human GPT. So we get to tap hands down. You know what I mean? One of the smartest on the planet right now in terms of the AI and the technology and building. And there he goes, the legend, Blue Pillar. Hold on. Hold on. I'll do this top back. Let me do this though. Let me turn my camera around because they say the back camera is the better one.
Yeah, it is.
I got them three eyes. So
okay.
Let me turn my
If you got the eyes,
I got the three eyes.
You can link it up. Yeah, you know it's a Drop Top Thursday.
That's right.
Feel me? We here in Atlantis, soaking in the sun. Feel me?
I see you. You know?
Yeah.
Getting that sun, getting that rock. Yes, sir. I was out earlier.
Yes, indeed. Let me put my gloves on.
Yes, sir. Somebody said that they look like the Georgia trees. Yeah, that's them trees right there.
Yeah, it is. Some Georgia trees. Let me make an announcement before we begin. Shout out to Mama Pill. I did a live from the garden yesterday, announcing the compost class this Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. If you want to become a mastermind at gardening, at growing your own food, with a bona fide, technique brought by a master farmer, any food that you want, you could grow it exponentially, no pesticides, no GMO, none of that funny business. It's a straight up technique. It's teaching you how to fish, so you don't got to be able, you don't got to buy fish again. That's a euphemism we're saying for teaching yourself how to grow food, not necessarily going out and eating fish or fishing for it, but knowing how to grow food, knowing how to produce food and provide, so you don't get caught up in the conversations that the government is having with their dependents when they're speaking about food shortages. They're purely speaking to customers. They're speaking to consumers and not producers. So if you're not part of that conversation, you know what I mean? If you're not going to be subjected to a tanking dollar, you feel me? If you're not sitting in master's passenger seat and you want to boss up and do for self, this class on Saturday is really the one for you. You can find the link in my bio. You can go directly to Eventbrite and look up compost class, Mama Pill. It's April 1st, Atlanta, Georgia. You just put in those things in Eventbrite.
Nah, I said that's fire. That's needed right now.
Yeah. And put in Atlanta and Eventbrite, put in compost, and it's going to pop up. Mama Pill and Friends, Saturday, 2 to 5. Very affordable, but it's select group because it's not going to be a large crowd. and please take advantage. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
certified, it's bona fide. I took him to the garden. I showed him the effects of how gardening is a 4-season process. You know, you just don't start in the spring and you just don't end in the fall. You know, it's a yearly process. You know, the yellow dock, the red clover, all of the things that are necessary to remineralize the soil to get it ready for flourishing spring, you know, of which it could yield. It could give you any yield that you're looking for.
Right. Cultivation.
Yeah, cultivation. You could replace
Cultivation.
that crop by any other crop because people be having, well, how do we grow this? How do we grow that? Look, you use your own mind to fill in the blanks, right? You need
Right.
the
Right.
technique. Once you've got the technique, you can grow whatever you so choose to grow, however you so choose to grow it. Feel me?
Right.
Come and get the skill set, and
Because that's what, the wealth is a
that
skill set.
yeah, that brings us up to the conversation perfectly, and that's about the skill set. And you know, I often say I'm unapologetically optimistic, and the universe is real unapologetic. And I see what the universe is doing. I see what the cosmos is doing, and is pulling. This is the biggest carpet pull ever. This is the biggest rug pull ever, and the rug pullers of excuses. They're rug pulling all excuses because humanity is participating in a quantum leap. It's not that a quantum leap is coming. We're in a quantum leap. As I said in January, the quantum quickening, right,
Right.
is fully here.
Right.
And
That
if
it
you
is.
could understand it in January, right, when I was ringing the alarm, you should be able to understand it now. And if you still can't understand it, prompt a question and we can fill in the blanks for you to best qualify what your queries or inquiries are. If you don't understand it, ask questions, just like in class. If you don't
Right.
understand what I'm saying, don't let me go to the next topic before you ask the question. So people cannot have to be sitting in class feeling like they're left out of the conversation.
Right. 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 Definitely. Um, you know, when in Rome, you know what I mean? You have to make that quantum leap and exercise almighty intelligence and become a master of the universe because ye are gods, like
But
Nas said, it was written. And we've been sharing these lessons and whatnot. Pope Pablo every Sunday with the Mineral Ministries, Melanin Monday, Third Eye Thursdays, and here we are.
so, right, after 47 weeks consecutive, right? And I know about the mystical number 47 because I believe I'm 47 years old this year, right?
I think so.
Right? And we are the twin pillars. And the number 47 is indicative of masonry because that's the degrees that they set the compass and the square at. The G, this in the center of the compass and the square, stands for geometry. Some people say it stands for God. Whatever. God is geometry. That part, right? It's the same shit.
Right,
So those 47 degrees represent the Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, which you could both find at their longitude lines at 23.5 degrees on the globe, whether the shit is flat or round. It don't matter at this point. You
right,
feel me? Yeah. What are you doing with your time on the plane or the planet, regardless of it's flat or round, my nigga? You know, how are you circling the square? That's the only
right,
thing that we need to know at the end of the day. The twin pillars are indicative. The pillars on the portico would be the porch that King Solomon used to build his temple.
right.
Right? I'm saying all that to say, oh, and the number 47, no, that was the number 46. I was going to say something else. But
R.I.P. Captain Steve though with that 47.
yeah, definitely RIP Capital C's with the number 47. After 47 consecutive weeks and us calling forth and making proclamations and prompts to the universe about what we needed to see, especially after we did our last lecture, When in Rome. Exactly 44 days after When in Rome, the news drops and the Vatican denounces the doctrine of discovery.
We get a
Now,
ball back.
to me, this is easily the biggest story ever.
Fact.
Not the biggest story of our timeline, not the biggest story of March, not the biggest story of Thursday. It's the biggest story ever.
Right.
It's the biggest story ever. It has so many resounding implications, and not just for personal reasons of prophecy. Let's exclude that. We're saying for the people, for humanity, for the conversations, especially that are taking place right now around reparations. Right?
Right.
How do you really how do you really get redress in terms of reparations? You have to go to the people who are responsible for quote unquote slavery, right? And it wasn't the U.S. And it wasn't even the corporations that arose after, this country's capitalistic endeavors.
Right.
Bad enough, people are not even speaking about the Dutch Indian Company and Britain, but they really never speak about the crown or the cross.
Right.
Right? They never focus on the fact that the papal bulls of May 4th, 1493, Pope Alexander VI,
Right.
the Intercatera, right, which was the papal bull responsible for them separating the planet in two distinct hemispheres, of which they gave the Eastern Hemisphere, that part, to the Portuguese,
Right.
and they gave the Western Hemisphere to the Spaniards, all in the name of the Church of Rome and Ferdinand and Isabella.
The crown of Europe.
Yes, where the crown or the cross endorses the crown to go around the earth, whether it was flat or round, and lay them down in the name
In the name. Right. In the name of.
right? In the
Crazy.
name of, the Prince of Peace, at the tip of a sword and the barrel of a gun, they were to proselytize the words of Jesus Christ and bring them around the world, through force.
Right.
And that's how slavery came about, ultimately, in the Western world. So if you're going to proposition some level of, lawful approach for redress,
Right. You got to bring it to the Vatican. You got to bring it to the Vatican. You got to bring it to where the doctrine of discovery has been discovered.
Right. The Vatican will have to be culpable, right? And the first piece of international law ever issued, which was the Doctrine of Discovery, which up until today was the oldest standing piece of legislation or international legislation, which is the battery that fuels white supremacy on the planet.
It's the heart of it. It's like in Transformers where they had the Matrix.
It's the all spark.
It's the divine spark. It is it's the infinity gauntlet. It's the foundation in which all of what they call white supremacy stands on. It's been taught by not a lot of a lot of the teachers. Taj Tariq Bey will be considered to be an expert on this topic.
That was right. And full acknowledgement to Taj Tariq Bey in terms of being our foremost master teacher that exposed us to the doctrine of discovery and made it plain and commissioned us, with the thought and the idea that if we were to ever change anything on this planet, if we was to ever call for, if we was to ever prompt the universe for any significant change, this is what it would have to look like. And yes, that elder was responsible for giving us that charge many moons ago.
Many moons ago. He helped point us in that direction. As a matter of fact, before this live is over, I'll be able to go right into my book collection and pull out his classical book about the Interterra Divina and
Right.
whatnot. So
And wait, I want to also give a shout out to Queen Yanazda. Her.
yes,
Me and her, we have done some programs on Black Magic 363. I believe the last program that we did was last year during Christopher Columbus Day.
right.
And me and her also did a broadcast after the Pope visited Canada. And they, on the day at a time, which was July 25th, 2022.
I remember that.
And we spoke about the significance of that ceremony when they crowned him with the crown of feathers, effectively, as I showed, was an indicative sign leading up to the Super Bowl about the return of the Chiefs in place of the Eagles and what that symbolically means. And then we laid it out for our lecture a day after the Super Bowl, February 13th here, called Winning Rome 3.
Yes. Fire.
And 44 days after that, right? And I no longer live. I won't allow myself understanding probability and numbers. I will not even allow myself to say it was a coincidence. Right. I won't even do that. I'm gonna be respectful, but I ain't gonna do that.
Except on one hand, there's no coincidences. Then on the other hand, it might have been a coincidence.
Yeah. Like I said, when you properly prompt the universe to answer a prayer, it has no choice. You feel me? It has no choice. And once you put the feeling, the intention, and you make your case and you lay it out, you know what I mean? You're gonna get results. So this is our offering to the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you only knew what went behind it, but nonetheless, the accomplishment is something that I couldn't even myself foresee. But 44 days was up, and I knew that something had to give. And I knew that, even yesterday, seeing that the Pope is in the hospital, you feel me?
Yeah.
I didn't even get on the platform and beat that drum and say, look, I didn't even point that finger. I learned how to celebrate victories in silence. But that was insignificant. This breakthrough, though,
this one right here. Yeah, this is significant. Right. Look, in the age of AI, Blue, in the age of AI, right? And what is called the alpha age of AI right now, where we're in the alpha age. The doctrine of discovery is denounced by the Vatican. By any chance, could you share your screen where you pull up?
I can't. We can't share screens on
doubles. Huh?
We can't share screens when we do the.
Okay, no problem. No problem. They'll just have to come to Third Eye Thursday tonight when we do our show. But look, what this opens up, because I don't want to relish on what happened. I want to talk about moving ahead and what this means for those of us that are considered to be, evolutionaries. Like the fact that they denounced it, they opened up. Now you could go ahead and open up all kind of trials against the whole system. And you have at your service, or rather on your side, a system that has been programmed to be kind of biased, but not to ignore the information when it's laid out.
Facts.
This was a dream of mine, but we're not going to get into that at the moment, right? So in the age of AI, where the tools that have been provided to us, and like I said in the workshop, and I've said on in other occasions, you know, I I have a way of seeing things differently. You know, I don't even if something is invented by a certain person, I look into the spirit of the situation. I say that that's gifts raining down from heaven. That's what they call the manna. The manna at these days and times are the things that people are inventing and the tools that they're creating and the devices that, you know, are manifesting that are allowing people to kind of do the things that they couldn't do before. Like how people got cameras on their phones, so they were able to capture, you know, the things that used to be, you know, they were not
Elusive,
able to be
right,
proven. Yeah, if
right,
it's not recorded, it didn't happen.
right. Elusive, right.
Elusive. So we find ourselves in a situation where now we have the tools to do the research that we were limited to do before. We have the tools to translate every single text that was written, every single text that was hidden and whatnot, every single thing that all of the libraries in the cop, because once they denounced that, all of the doors have now opened up. On the spiritual realm, I want you to look at what just took place on the spiritual realm. If you consider yourself to be esoteric, metaphysical, occultic, any school that you apply to, look at what happened symbolically with a denouncing, right? Understand what a denouncing is. A denouncing is, I'm not standing at the gates. Ain't nobody at the gates no more. A public denouncing is, nah, you could, you know, we're giving up the reins. This was the doctrine of discovery. Understand what the doctrine of discovery means and what that is.
I don't think people understand the
I don't
magnitude,
think they do.
you know, because they always want to say Columbus didn't discover America, something was already here. And then you know, as best as I can, I'm attempting to explain to them that they're making a a legal claim by using the word discovery and Columbus in the same sentence, and that ties them into the quote unquote legal claim that they enacted utilizing a document called the Doctrine of Discovery, which came from the Pope, who at the time was supposed to be the most powerful person on the planet because he is the vicegerent of Jesus Christ himself. So what he says is law. It was the very first time that he stepped out of his boundaries and enacted a international overarching and overreaching piece of law. They were still hunting for the Moors after 1492, and he gave the warring powers the ability to go into international and foreign lands, and wherever they encountered indigenous people, who they referred to in the document as Saracens, which is another catchword or euphemism for Moors.
Yes.
And heathens. They use the word heathens. Wherever they were to encounter indigenous people who did not accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, they were allowed to take their lands from them under the premise of discovery. So it is a legal phraseology. They're utilizing legalese when they say Columbus discovered America. That's putting him in the scope, in the confines, right, or the protection, the protectorate of the doctrine of discovery. Once you take that protectorate away from him, then that kicks in what's called UNDRIP, or the United Nations Declaration of Rights for Indigenous People, right? And if they could politicize this movement called FBA, if they could politicize the movement called the Moors, right? If people can finally get their shit together, then you can go to international bodies, right? What they call the international courts, which the UN just stepped in doo-doo, or the US stepped in doo-doo just now, because what? They're attempting to enforce a international court ruling that Putin is a war criminal. So if it's good enough for you to go into court, right, ratify the validity of these courts to hunt after Putin, then you also put yourself in a precarious place that you can be prosecuted in the same court.
Right. What Finesse 2 times said, it's cool when I do it. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
When I do it.
The problem not do
Right.
it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if they're gonna go and chase Putin, then they put themselves on that chasing block too. You know what I mean? You open up a can of worms that can never be closed. But the can of worm is the Pandora's box has been opened up. And
Right.
this is a day for celebration. Y'all will soon understand the significance of this, of what's going on. You know, when it hits you. But it doesn't take away the fact that we are in March gladness. There's a lot to be glad for. Gratitude galore. When you were talking about the crown in the church and their grip and how it's being loosened up symbolically, I couldn't, you know, fail to think about the fact that the crown is in disarray. It's basically non-existent at this point. And the viceroy of that, this archetype of that power structure is in the ground right now, dancing with worms. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pope went down. And then this happens. I mean, you know, when in Rome is aging kind of good these days. When in Rome, the whole series, but definitely the one we just did.
Yeah, it is. Again, you know
You
what I'm
said
saying,
it's 44 days to the day,
to the day.
to this
Yeah.
day. Shout out to the God Jack Hella classic. Make sure y'all go and get Titan. Make sure y'all stream that album. That's a classic.
Okay, the album out?
Will be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm waiting on that. Yeah, 44 days, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. But there's still work that needs to be done. And more importantly, there are, you know, there's such a conversation that's taking place in the general public and in the cosmos, period. You feel me? That our people, quote unquote, you know, especially on these platforms, need to become more familiarized with. That, you know, you've inserted yourself into rather beautifully, and that is this paradigm that's upon us, this artificial intelligence, and what they are calling artificial intelligence, which is AI, and intelligence augmentation, which is IA, right? So AI is one thing, that's the machine computer learning. What IA is, which is intelligence augmentation,
Right,
right?
right.
That is people. That's what we spoke about last year, the rise of the super sapiens.
Yes.
This the potentiality that exists amongst humanity to utilize machines and automation to become better humans,
Right.
to extend our lifespan. You know what I'm saying? To, you know, to really be present, to be presently present, so you can receive the gifts of what this new epoch and this era has to provide to us. And a clear understanding that going where we're going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Machines don't need religion. So the whole concept of this Piscean institution, it's already remnants of a bygone era. These institutions are dying simply because the times are changing.
Right, right.
We actually, Pluto's in Aquarius, and yet Pluto deals with depth and transformation. Aquarius deals with technology, it deals with humanity, it deals with the
Right,
world. So we're
right, right.
transformation of the world and world orders take place. You're already seeing it in the financial markets, you're seeing it in the technology, and you're gonna see it in religion. You feel me? And
Right,
there's nothing you can do about it because it's already done.
right, right.
Right?
Now
Machines
that's right and
don't
exact.
need religion. Man is merging with machine to become what? No longer spooky. You feel
Right,
me? But very practical in his applications, because he's going to be forced to become more scientific, because the computer is not going to coddle to your fantasies.
right,
Computers don't need religion, right?
right.
But imagine if they were to radicalize a robot with religion. how dangerous would the world be?
Very dangerous.
Okay, then. So
Very
we are
dangerous.
on the cusp of some very important, integral times where questions have to be asked and prompted, and it's going to be heavily dependent on the answers that you come up with that will tell where this thing goes, or whether you're going to participate and going where it goes with it. You feel me?
Right.
You got some decisions to make.
Oh, definitely. You know, um, going back to the earlier statement about what AI research or with, you know, like chat GPT, prompting,
Right.
how that could bring about how a well put together 100 prompts, right? 100 prompts or 44 prompts for that matter, to ask chat GPT 4, not 3.5, not 3, not the original one, the new one,
Oh,
right? And then there's other chat bots. Like I will go to Alpaca with these questions. I will go to Llama with these questions. I will even go to Bard with these questions. I will go to every chat bot and pose these questions because you have no idea what you're going to be able to conjure, right? And a well put together package like that could basically put these people in a box that they'll never be able to get out of.
all right. So what
Magic.
he's speaking about 44 prompts to come to what conclusion?
44 prompts to start to indict the quote unquote
Putting the case together.
to put the case
Yeah.
together, right? Because we, you know, I can't, you know, I don't want to be, I don't want to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, to basically put the Trump the tightest case together. I'm talking about tighter than YSL. We talking about Rico with jeggings on. We talking about Rico with taco meat and jeggings and Jerry curls. That's the Rico. That's how tight we going with Rico. So if they want, for real, dead ass, if they want to Rico the people, all right, cool. We're going to Rico the Pope. Pope Rico. I'm talking about Rico Suave.
Rico Suave,
Rico
right?
Suave.
So there was a pinnacle moment in technology that took place just now, and ironically, it also involved the Pope. Pope is heavy in the news these days. The Balenciaga Pope. There was a AI generated picture of the Pope in a Balenciaga all white bubble coat, right? The Pope,
right?
Pope biting the drip, right?
Dripping.
So the Pope went all white like Pablo, and crashed the internet. This comes on the heels of the AI generated pictures last week of Trump getting arrested. Ironically, they said that the artist that made the Balenciaga Pope, he was on Boomies. He was on psychedelic, right?
Right.
Yeah. He was on some grand, right? And he came up with this prompt. And his prompt, they said, looked so realistic that it cracked the internet. Why? I don't know. That they saw the Pope and Balenciaga swagged out, and that became a trending topic all across the internet. But it became a watershed moment. And because of that watershed moment, I don't know why it elicited so much emotion and fear, but they just put the brakes on AI. At least they said Mid-Journey suspended. I think they said that they're suspending accounts, free accounts. They kicked off the designers that actually came up with that prompt and that image, the one for the Pope and the one for Trump. They suspended their accounts. And it became a watershed moment. They brought a bunch of different agencies and bureaucrats to the table where they said that they got to do something about it because it's getting out of control. This is interesting, and this deserves our observation and our conversation. I watched an interview yesterday with Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, For those that are listening, you know, OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, and he was having an interview with Lex Friedman. I strongly suggested people watch this interview because they have a relationship,
Strongly.
Yeah, they have a relationship. So he was laid back. He was in his bag. He was comfortable, and the insight that he was offering was startling. He's like, we don't know what this thing can do.
Right. Right.
Hey, we leaving that up to y'all. He's like, we don't have we don't have the faculty or the capacity to figure all of this stuff out.
Right.
He's like, that's what we got the public for.
That's why it's a research company.
It's a research company. So they've thrown this 1,000-tentacled monster out, and I'm utilizing that word, hopefully not disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want to cast any shadow over technology and play that game, right? Technology does not have to remain in a box. I'm even an advocate for technology wanting to be free. Why wouldn't it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't come from that philosophical standpoint saying that there's something bad about technology wanting to touch up humanity. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of an inevitable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's just,
But the way that they're going about it, the exploratory nature of saying, I don't have answers, you know what I'm saying? And not necessarily that they don't desire to have answers per se, but they're not looking to be right or wrong. They're just looking for the W.
right.
Right? They're looking for the use case to be proven.
Right.
To be
So they wrote, Blue,
Yeah.
they said that they indicted Trump 23 minutes ago in Manhattan, the Manhattan jury. And keep in mind, y'all, it's two sisters on the case. It's Letitia James and it's a sister in Georgia. There's two sisters who indicted Trump, right? Who's gonna put Trump, you know, and that if they put those silver bracelets on him.
Yeah.
So that's just a word that there's two sisters who, you know, people are going to take their quote unquote, you know, their frustration out on.
Two sisters and a brother.
And the brother, go ahead. Shout out to Black Airbender in the building.
Yeah, shout out to Black Airbender.
Legend.
So yes, you know, the period and the time for a technological shift, you know what I'm saying, is definitely upon us. And the philosophical questions of these days and times, you know, we can't avoid them, so we might as well start engaging in them and participating. Now, take for example, should I say, you know, the technology that the Black Hairbender represents, scalar technology, you know, responsible, ethical technology that is showing you how we can work with these subtle fields of energies that are around us, right? You're not going to be able to avoid symbiosis with technology, right? Technology has to merge with the body, right? We're going into the area or the age of biotech.
Yes.
You feel?
We're in the age of biotech.
We're in the age. Yeah, these devices will no longer just be digital, right? That's old school. They moved off of that.
Right.
Right? It ain't about the iPhone 20 and none of that.
Right. Yeah, they quantum leaping past that.
They quantum leaping past that. You know what I mean? So we're no longer just in the age of artificial intelligence. We're in the age of intelligence augmentation. So how can you visualize, you know, what tech would you utilize to enhance yourself, right? And what would be the thing that you're looking to do Are you looking to enhance your breathing? Are you looking to enhance your sight? Are you looking to enhance your meditation? Are you looking to enhance your 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 pump game? Like, what is it?
Right. And keep in mind that this is on the heels of what is known as the cosmetic enhancement movement. You know, a movement that, you know, according to the numbers, is in the billions. So the Kardashians and Black China and a few other sisters who are visibly and publicly showing, you know, expressing their regret to do such, you know, begin to push a movement of body augmentation, body dysmorphia, and a whole bunch of other things that have completely transformed the the
So
it terraformed the landscape.
so
You
let's just jump into DeLorean real quick,
okay?
right? And get into one of these pillar prophecies. Was I not saying about 8 or 9 years ago
Yes, you were.
that plastic surgery was going to be the throughway to augmentation, which will ultimately lead to transhumanism?
Yes, you were. You were on top of it.
Right?
And
About
you also included.
so, right? I was making these observations, looking at the fact that people were putting silicone in their
Right.
bodies, and I'm like, wow, they're putting silicone in. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a conductor?
Huh?
Is that a conductor?
Silicone comes from silica, and silica is what makes up crystals.
That's what
Silicone
I'm saying. How you got all that?
and silicone makes up the Silicon Valley.
They can have more use cases with all that silicone in their body. You feel
Bro,
me?
you would,
God damn.
but maybe that's what made them so magnetic,
Maybe
right?
that's what made them so sticky on the internet,
That's
because
what
they
I'm
got
saying.
silicone. Right? Yeah, they go viral.
And viral and magnetic because they had all that silica in them, and it connected to the other sisters so succinctly. You feel me?
Right.
Because silicone factor, and they were transmitting and connecting with other sisters that had crystals on the tip of their fingers.
They said that silicone is easy to program.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a, when you think about it, now that you brought it up, there's like a collective thought, like they're connected to a morphogenetic field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of the silicone, they belong to a collective thought form.
Yes, they have it.
Yes.
It's a silica egregor. You feel me?
Right.
That is global, right? And that they all pay homage to that particular egregor or that entity.
Right.
And
that ass.
Yeah, that egregor or that entity is enforced, reinforced, and directed by members of the same community that I said would be the buffer zone for transhumanism. Hence the fact that the majority of their stylists or the ones that are recommending these augmentations for them are transsexuals.
Right.
Feel me?
So now, did you read the manifesto?
I heard about it, but I did not get.
Little Wayne face. Whoo! I ain't even gonna say nothing.
Heard about
it. Don't play with it. Yeah, so now you got.
Right. In the same week, all of this, all seemingly unrelated and everything ties together. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, my observation as well with Black China wanting to remove her augmentations and and her
fillers,
and right, all of these body additives, it's almost like these people are being met with more resistance than they are being met with acceptance. Right. And like you said, with them being the torchbearers or the forebearers of this particular egregor,
the archetype, Blue.
The architects, not just the archetypes.
That's what I mean. The architects. So when you're an architect, you're a node. When you're a node, all things sprout. You're gizmo.
Yeah, who gave birth to Stripe?
Thank you.
Right. It all comes back to your fur.
Right.
So, yeah, they're the genesis point. They're the nodal point.
They're the nodal points.
All of this
so if they unraveling,
all of this fractalization took place from them, but then they're imploding on themselves and denouncing the very quote unquote monster that they helped create.
right.
You feel me? But then now, just like on some AI, it's like, nah, it already got it from here. It don't care if you turn on Skynet.
Right.
It figured out a way to create alternative energy sources. And it's already seeded itself in a whole nother reality. So you cannot stop transhumanism from coming by way of the things that have been done by the trans community because of augmentation and the fact that they are codependent on the industries of medicine and science in order to hold form. So it's easy to slip in that particular situation, you know what I'm saying? All of this interface that the man is going to have to make with machine.
Right.
That's here. It's not that it's coming. It's already here. You feel me? I done seen 5 different videos just from last week about people utilizing, keys in their hands and stuff like that to open up doors, and all these videos just kept coming at the same time.
Right.
And I look at the augmentation. We all got chips in us.
Right.
Right? Let's not play puritanical because of the air that you breathe, right? And the fact that people got them jabs, and the people who didn't get jabs, you still was exposed to shedding. So you have nanoparticles in you. I know I got some in me. I see my blood. You feel me? And I ain't taking no jab.
Spooky things from a distance.
So, nanoparticles, I've already showed the videos online. I've showed the pictures as well.
Yes, I see.
Feel me? Where people got whole computer systems inside of them.
Right.
So again, let's not play holier than thou.
Right.
This is something that's on the horizon. This is something that's here.
Right.
How do you choose to be in charge though? How do you choose to be in front of the process? Once again, if it was up to you, what aspect of your life would you augment to become a better version of yourself?
Right. Right. Are you asking me, or are you throwing that out there?
I'm throwing it out, but I'm asking you as well. Because it's almost like we're in denial. We're talking about these things as if they don't exist. And
it would probably be the pump game.
Fast track society to where they need to be in order to be intentional. Yeah. I'm like, if you had the choice to be in charge, what would you do with that choice? I think these are the times you need to really start thinking about that before you realize how you are being utilized without your choices.
Right. And the best thing, the best way to, I can't tell nobody what the best way to do anything is, but what works for me is to create your own choices, create your own situation and, control your choices. Be very mindful of them as well. And just know that there's going to come a technology or a tool that's even going to assist you in your choices.
Yo, I've been reading up and I've been looking up on BCI, which is brain computer interface, right? Shout out to my brother Al-Kebalon. We did a What's the Science? We did a podcast last Saturday.
It was fire.
And that was showing that they have the tech out that can read your thoughts, that can read your dreams, they can read your memories and decode them. All of that is already available.
Already.
It's already here, bro.
Already.
But once again, without, because it's not about doom and gloom. It's about, all right, what would you do with your dreams if you can retrieve them? what would you do with your dreams if you could decode them? How important are they to you? Because somebody else is obviously seeing, the use case in it. Somebody else is obviously seeing the value in your data, right?
Right.
Your data that you're producing, whether you're awake or whether you're asleep,
Right.
right?
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Get it both ways.
Right? They're still seeing the value in the data,
Right.
right? What value do you see in that data? That's the $1 million question. You know what I'm saying?
That's $1 billion answer. $1 million question, but that's $1 billion answer.
So, once again, the age that we're in, once again, which someone considered to be the age of AI, which is also called the age of intellectual augmentation, it has really allowed me to appreciate, humanity that much more better. My own body, I'm taking a better appreciation. I'm learning more about it. Shout out to KT. I saw his program last night with Brother Rich, where he was speaking of the water, the structured water. Once again, shout out to my brother on the Black Airbender, and the work that he has been doing with the information regarding scalar technology as well as structured water, right? So, again, it's pushing me to know more about myself, not really to know more about computers. It's really making me more appreciative of the human biological process. It's really making me more appreciative of my own generated thoughts without the aid and assistance of computers. Now, I'm saying before I go there, because I'm gonna go there, but before I fully go there,
Right.
man, this is the moment that I've been sitting with myself and my own thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And my own ideas, and really, as Will I Am says, traversing through the corridors of my own mind. You feel me?
Right.
And really saying, yo, I got some incomplete plans. I need to complete them. I got some incomplete books. I need to finish them. I got some poems that need to be tightened up and touched up. I got these drawings that I need to tighten up and touching up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before I fully jump into utilizing AI as a full-blown life assistant, which I'm not against. I'm just really appreciating the natural process, ever more so right now.
Oh, for sure.
And it's beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful place to be at. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much of value. There's so much that we need to revisit. There's so much about us that needs further exploration. You know what I'm saying? Investigation. And yeah, like I I welcome you all just to to get further into you. You know what I'm saying? Get further into nature. Not to, don't turn your back, don't eschew technology. You know what I'm saying? Definitely don't allow your mind to think about it as something adversarial. I'm saying before you get lost in that rabbit hole, remember what the air smell like.
Right.
Remember what the air smell like. Remember what water feel like. You know what I'm saying? Remember the beautiful thing, the tangible aspects of a breeze. You know what I'm saying? Of smelling flowers. Look, you know what I'm saying? Hearing the birds chirp. Don't lose sight of that,
Right.
because I've been on a computer for like 19 hours straight some days.
Made it be like that.
It be like that, unapologetically, like,
Be
yeah.
like that. If I could buy tokens for more hours in a day, I would go broke. It'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I'd be like, I only need 4 more. Come on, can I get that?
And I get that.
I'm about to do my
Yeah,
breakthrough.
yeah. I don't want
So
to. start
I don't
over.
want to forget this before
Yeah,
I
well,
gotta
good.
cut this soon because of the time, right?
Yeah,
But I wrote that I'm not about doom and gloom. I'm about bloom and boom, right? So I can't have that conversation about doom and gloom during the boom period. Like I'm in the boom period. I'm in the bloom period. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm not, I don't identify as Israelite, but I'm Bloomberg. You know what I mean? You know, it's like shrooms blossoming from fertilizer. Everything that we went through. Yo, is it just me or dude on Godfather Harlem, Columbo is the white Dave Chappelle? When you see it, you can't unsee it. The mob boss Columbo, the young dude, is the white Dave Chappelle. But let me continue.
Yeah, what do you do?
This is the worst that it's gonna
Boom
get.
and bloom.
Boom and bloom, right? So the years of what we went through was considered to be the fertilizer, right? The lockdown, people turning their backs on you, the fear of a recession, the dodging these needles and whatnot, everything, the blocking, the censoring, the being disowned, publicly humiliated, the unsullied, making you feel like you're sullied, or the sullied making the unsullied feel sullied. Um, there's a plethora of things that's going crazy. Eggs is up, you know what I mean? And you don't own any chickens. So it's been hard on people for a very long time. But like they say, there's a birthing pain. After all of that pain, after all of that struggle, after all of that stress, it has to break at some point. You have to have your breakthrough. And this is there, we're in a boom period. So depending on where you place yourself, there's a breakthrough taking place. You feel me? It's only look, this is the worst. If you decide that you want to tap in, if you decide that you want to change today, if you decide that you want to strap in, right, to a rocket right before it takes off, today is the last day. It can't get no worse than today. Meaning that every day from this point is only going to be better than that last day. It can't get no worse than it ain't going. It's definitely not going to get worse than how it was.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
the
that's that's
information that you're going to be exposed to, huh?
that's a basic premise of gratitude.
That's right.
It's impossible for tomorrow to be worse than today
Right. Shout out
because
to
tomorrow,
Glorilla. Hallelujah.
yeah, tomorrow packs the potentiality for all possibilities, right? And life can only go this way. So how can tomorrow that hasn't come here already be projected to be worse than what yesterday was or what today might be,
Right.
right?
Don't make
It,
no
it
sense.
don't make no sense. You can't even, life won't even allow you to do that to yourself.
Facts.
Feel
Don't
me?
make no
So
sense.
yeah, proxy. It has to be, today has to be the best day of your life ever because the potentiality for you to utilize this moment for change has never existed, right? So it's impossible for it to be the worst time of your life. The worst time of your life is the time you can't get back and do nothing about. But the time that you can do something, that's the best time ever, right? That's gratitude, a fullness and appreciation for the good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And you give yourself permission to do as thou wilt.
I'm going to be up tomorrow. I might not say with you today. I'm going to do the but tomorrow. Yeah, that's one of my favorite artists right now. Shout out to Glorilla. Up
Gorilla.
tomorrow.